Good morning, students. Welcome to our online teaching module. This is Social Science 10th Standard NCERT syllabus, History, Chapter 1. It is about nationalism in Europe. This lesson, it's a very important lesson because it is dealing with rise of nationalism in Europe. So many of you think about that what is nationalism and how do we understand the national various aspects of nationalism. So that all these things we are going to discuss in this lesson. Why it is important? Look at the world nowadays. In the name of nationalism, people are categorized, identified with nationalist, anti-nationalist. So in this scenario, this lesson is very important. So we need to look at lesson and try to understand what nationalism is all about. So therefore, let's begin with this lesson. First lesson, it is a rise of nationalism in Europe, emergence of nationalism in Europe. Why? Because it is Europe where we see for first time the concept of nationalism became a dominant force and became widespread and emerged. Therefore, we look at the various aspects, the historical context, so context in which the nationalism was spread and emerged in Europe, particularly in French during French Revolution. Then it spread to other parts of Europe. From Europe, it went to into the rest of the world. So this is the point. If you look at this in the very beginning, you see on the screen the picture is print. There were prints like there are this print. Look at this image. This print was made by Robert Sorrieu, a French artist. He made four prints. This is the first one among them. We are looking at this first picture. It shows that the various people from various parts of Europe, they coming to Statue of Liberty and show their aspirations to become a nation states. Look at the picture, all these images and the peculiarities of that picture we will discuss one by one. So Frédéric Sorrieu made four prints. This is the first one. He named it Dream of Worldwide Democratic and Social Republics. That is the name he gave. So we sort of the pact, an agreement between nations. In through this picture, in this picture, you can understand many nations are there. People from many parts of the Europe, all they come together and show their ambition to become nation states. A pact, an agreement taking place there. All this. Look at particularly especially from America and Europe, people, men, women, all people of all ages, they're marching towards a Statue of Liberty, holding their national flag and wearing costumes. So this is the so Statue of Liberty. Look at the Statue of Liberty. It represents. On one hand, you look at Statue of Liberty, that is a famous Statue of Liberty statue. You can see where in America, New York, Ohio, and on the river of Ohio, you can see that that was actually given. So Statue of Liberty, on one hand, she holds a torch that symbolizes enlightenment. Enlightenment means knowledge, freedom. All these we call, which are attributed to the female figure that is holding torch. It shows enlightenment, freedom. On the other hand, you can see a book, a charter of human rights of man. Rights of man point their rights of and not rights of woman. So that you can see there. Then we see that on the foreground you can see many shattered images lying here and there. It shows Absolutist government means the very powerful government which do not take into account the aspirations and decisions of the people. They never consult with the people. They discuss and debate with the people about the future of the nation or their kingdom. So people did not have any say, absolutely no control over their kingdom. That is, all power is centralized. Military is very powerful. Even that is, people who were trying to criticize government and the monarch would be severely punished. So this type of system, ruling system, we call it absolutist government. So while they were marching towards, you see that images of shattered images that show that the absolute governments were thrown out of their power. Then we see that, oh, this is an utopian. So sorry, everybody calls it utopian. Robert Sorreu's utopian vision, because it may not happen in real life, but it happened now. This is some 200 years ago. This image, this print was made. No one. I mean, people across the world, and they never thought about that. All the kingdoms one day would disappear, and nations would come in the place of the disappeared monarchies. That now almost all countries are nation states. So that is a reality. That time it was termed as, the people called them, it is an utopian vision of Frédéric Sorrieu. Anyway, look at the utopian vision. What is utopian? A vision of society. You have an ideal society. You think that my society would be like this in future, and people may think that no, it may not happen. In reality, it does not exist, but you think that in future all society is going to become like that. So this type of idea, we call it utopian society, that something does not exist. But what was the other features of these utopian societies visualized by Robert Sorreu? Another point is that the people who are marching towards Statue of Liberty, holding their own national flag and wearing their costumes. That means they want to be identified with the nation state, not with the monarch. So that what is nation state, that we will discuss in the coming pages and coming parts. So we look at, first of all, so this is the things. Look at the country, people from various parts of Europe, who is even America and Europe. These are the area from about which the Robert Sorreu made this print. So by the time this picture was made, already two regions became nation states already. It was United States of America and Switzerland. You can see already these two countries passed by the Statue of Liberty. That shows they become already nation states. Then we said France is a tricolor, it's coming, and that means they are almost reached the Statue of Liberty. They are going to, it shows that they were going to become a nation state. That also we can see, understand from this picture. Following France, we can see Germany with its tricolor. It is also coming and marching towards people of Germany, coming towards Statue of Liberty. So, but this time, you please understand, Germany was not even, it was no nation state. Not only that, Germany was divided into numerous principalities, small regions, or provinces. So it was not a united area. That also we need to understand. After Germany, then which countries are coming? Look at, then we see that. Um, one more point is there about Germany. German people, although they were not nation state, people of Germany, they want to make their area region into a nation state. That also it is shown in this picture. We can understand from picture. So following Germany, look at others who are people from Austria, people from Kingdom of Two Sicilies, Lombardy, then Poland, England, Ireland, Hungary, Russia. From all these parts, people are in large number coming towards and show, and we understand they want their aspirations and ambitions to overthrow and to bring changes in their society and to make nation states. So then we can see, again, you look at the picture, you can see on top of the image, you see image, so Christ, or Christ, then angels are looking down, so they are gazing upon it, blessing the people. Because why the Christ is there? Because almost all countries were Christian countries. So while showing the Christ image, it is, so there was a fraternity and brotherhood and sisterhood among these countries. We can, among the people also, it is shown that Christ is blessing and angels are there to bless you. So you go forward there, aim to achieve what you want. This is a meaning we get from this picture. Again, if you go through, so this is a picture from the beginning of this lesson that shows that in the coming pages in this lesson, what we are going to discuss, all the points that have been covered in this image, we are going to discuss one by one. Means it is about the nation state. What are the features of nation state? How people, though during those years, those period, how they imagine, visualized the type of country they would like to live in. So again, this time when this picture was made during the period, Europe was undergoing very political changes. So mainly the idea of nation state becoming more and more widespread in Europe. More and more people want to identify the nation state not as a person who belong to a particular monarch. A monarch means, in under a monarch maybe multinational dynastic. It means people who are speaking different languages, culture, costumes, all they were living under one monarch without any common affinity, without common sense of belonging. They were living just because they belong to that time. They were identified with a monarch because they just belong to living under a monarch. That was the only thing you were identified with a country, a region. So these people, they want to separate nation states where they can come together and they create an identity, common sense of identity. So this is the starting point of nation states. Then again, if we go through again, we can, so what is nation state? When we can say nowadays in all nation states have clearly specified boundary, because territorial boundaries there. You look at, we have also in India, we have also a specified boundary. We have that the central government is also there. It is holding power control over this specific area, over this specific boundary. So that is a nation state. Here also we can say, again we can say, the majority of the people, they share a common identity, a common sense of belonging, and a shared history. All people in a nation state think that we belong to one, we have one same identity, we share same history. So don't be confused with that history of maybe you think that it was there 10,000 years ago, maybe 1 lakh years ago. It is not like that. The same sense, a common sense of identity and shared history means what we people through the struggle and they coming together, they create a sense of belonging that was not there from time immemorial. Maybe you were, due to your combined effort, your struggle or fighting against an enemy, you come together. That sense of, that type of sense of feeling and belong to, that creates a identity, a commonness. That's a collective shared history. In the case of India, we have freedom struggle for last more than 100 years. We had a freedom struggle against British rule that created a widespread, a common identity that all, irrespective of our caste, religion, and other differences, we belong to one nation because we have shared history, a commonness, a common collective identity that we all together fought for our freedom. So this sense of belonging that creates a nation state. This is the message from this first part of this lesson. So in coming, this is the first part. In coming parts and coming pages of this lesson, we will look at various aspects in detail about how nationalism emerged, what are the various, what the who the were the people who played important role in the formation of nation states. Thank you.